In the show Narcos, there's one powerful truth mentioned about nature. When a nuclear holocaust happens, only cockroaches will survive.
They say when a nuclear holocaust destroys the world, only the cockroaches will survive.
Cockroaches have a unique and primal ability to survive. They're not the pretty ones, but they survive almost anything. The 2008 financial crisis was nothing less than a nuclear holocaust on Wall Street. For most people working on Wall Street, surviving it seemed almost impossible. Their jobs, their careers, and their dreams were all gone in a flash. But in the movie Margin Call, we see one character, Jared Cohen, who not only survives, but appears to do so with remarkable ease, keeping his job through extreme stress and pain. By the way, Jared is my second favorite character in the movie after John Told. He's calm, non-emotional, and ruthless, very much like Told himself. And no, I'm not saying Jared is literally a cockroach in the movie, but he had those extreme survival abilities. He represents those who, no matter the situation, always find a way to navigate and emerge from the worst times. So let's look at who Jared Cohen is and how he managed to not just stay afloat, but survive in a calm, non-empathetic way in the face of collapse. Jared Cohen's job in the movie was head of capital markets. This means he's a very important person who deals with how the company makes and manages its money. But what truly makes Jared stand out isn't just his high position, it's the way he thinks and acts. For Jared, everything is about getting results. He doesn't let feelings or ideas of right and wrong get in his way. He looks at situations like a math problem, focusing on numbers and outcomes, not on how people might feel. When Sam meets Jared during the first emergency meeting, and when Jared sees the issue, he immediately understands how serious the situation is. He doesn't try to pretend it's not happening or make excuses. Instead, his mind quickly moves to finding a solution. He knows that he needs to get rid of $1.2 trillion worth of bad MBS off their books immediately. While Sam, Sarah, and others were grappling with the moral implications or the shock of the situation, Jared's mind immediately jumped to looking for practicalities. He needs to know the timeline for decisions and actions. All he thinks about in the situation is how much time he has left for making and executing the plan. That's why he keeps asking what time it is.
What time is it?
2:16.
He asks Sam how much time it will take to wipe it off their books, to which Sam resists and says weeks. Here, clearly, Jared has already formulated a plan of action.
Sam, how long under normal operations would it take your people to clear that from our books?
I don't know. Weeks.
Weeks.
Yeah, weeks.
Now, Sam's logic here is that they have such an enormous amount of MBS, and if the firm sells it normally without raising any suspicions, then after just 1 or 2 days of only selling, the counterparties will start noticing. So Sam asks Jared condescendingly, "Do you understand this?"
But you certainly know that our business is selling and buying. We suddenly stop buying for a day or two. That's not something you can hide under the rug. That gets out.
I understand.
Do you?
Sam underestimates Jared's ruthlessness because he's thinking differently. Jared emphasizes that they have no other choice and need to get rid of it ASAP.
You cannot be doing what you're thinking of doing.
Well, I don't see any other choice.
What does that mean? We don't have a choice. Fuck you, you don't have a choice.
Me? Did you even look at the numbers, Sam?
Basically, Jared was thinking of a fire sale, while Sam is thinking about how bad it will look for the company. But Jared doesn't take part in these moral debates. He is simply concerned with how to make the sale happen and how to get the logistics right. His command is short and chilling. Get rid of it, all of it. He knows very well that this action will cause the market to drop sharply and that many people will lose a lot of money. He knows the company's good name will be damaged. But he accepts all of this as a necessary price to pay to save the company. For him, the company staying alive is the only thing that matters, no matter how harsh the methods needed to achieve it. Jared is cold-hearted, and it is clear from how other people in the movie describe him. Will Emerson calls Jared a effing killer because he can make the incredibly tough and painful decisions that most other people simply cannot or will not make.
Kid's a fucking killer.
He's not loud or aggressive. He's cold and clear-headed enough to sacrifice anything to ensure survival. Jared also manipulates the narrative around Sarah to make her the convenient scapegoat. Even though Sarah had warned about these risks before, Jared doesn't care about that. When she tries to remind everyone of her past warnings, he quickly dismisses her by saying, "You mean you were wrong?"
But we were wrong.
No, you mean you were wrong.
This simple line immediately makes her look bad and, as chief risk officer, puts all the blame on her. Jared completely agrees with the CEO, John Told's, plan to save the company at any cost, which includes finding someone to take the blame. He sees Sarah's removal as a logical and necessary step to protect the company. He doesn't argue against it, he helps make it happen. He sees her as part of the machine that can be replaced or removed if it helps the larger goal. Sam Rogers, who is supposed to be in charge of making the fire sale happen, was clearly struggling with the terrible moral decision he had to make. When Jared sees that Sam is conflicted between moral dilemmas and resisting a fire sale, to be on the safer side, Jared even plans ahead. While describing Jared as a f***ing killer to the junior analyst, Will Emerson says that though Jared is younger than Sam, he's still Sam's boss, and such promotions do not happen with him.
Who is that guy?
Sam's boss.
He looks like he's 15 years old.
He's 40.
Yeah, how does that happen?
Oh, it happens all the time. Except to me.
So Will is kind of ambitious to rise up the corporate ladder. Jared hasn't reached to a boss level without reading people, and he probably knows that Will is ambitious, and seeing the possibility that Sam might refuse to lead the fire sale, Jared tries to manipulate Will by offering him the opportunity to step up and lead the fire sale if Sam refuses.
Told and I have concerns that Sam may not be willing to step up and do the right thing here.
Sam will step up.
Oh, I know he will. But if he doesn't, we need to know that you will.
He's always thinking ahead, always having a backup plan. He needed a guaranteed operator for the fire sale. If Sam, despite pressure, holds on to his morals, Jared ensures he has another killer ready to step in to make sure the company's survival plan goes forward without any problems. After the all-night meeting where the disaster plan is set, Seth Bregman, a young risk analyst, is clearly heartbroken. He sees Jared in the bathroom, shaving, looking perfectly calm. Seth says to Jared something like, "You're about to fire me. This job is all I ever wanted to do." Jared's response? A simple, almost disbelieving, "Really?" And he just keeps shaving. There's no comfort, no hint of regret, and no shared sadness. You can see Jared's utter detachment from the emotions of the decisions he's involved in. Before and during the fire sale, Jared is monitoring if everything's going smoothly and if everyone's doing the task they are given. After the fire sale, many employees lose their jobs, their savings, and their futures. Jared seems to emerge from this huge financial crisis completely untouched. He's not fired, he's not punished, and he shows no signs of regret or emotional pain. Jared knows that the world of high finance values and rewards his ability to be cold, detached, and ruthless. These qualities are not seen as a bad thing. Instead, they're considered a very valuable skill. In such a high-pressure environment, survival and success often go to those who can make the hardest decisions, no matter if those decisions are ethical or not. If you look closely, Jared has all the qualities that John Told has. You can basically call him Junior John Told as well. John Told has perfectly given him the boss position above Sam, as he's able to execute the task ruthlessly without showing much emotion and not succumbing to pressure. People like Jared Cohen and John Told don't just survive financial disasters, but they're perfectly made for them. Their ruthlessness in making incredibly difficult choices and manipulating the situations around them makes them a survivor in any type of situation. There is also an article about Jared Cohen. Whether Jared will survive and make it today. And the conclusion of the article is yes, he will easily survive even today's disasters because of his abilities. Overall, Jared Cohen in Margin Call is more than just a character. He's the ultimate survivor, perfectly adapted to a system that, at times, rewards extreme toughness and a complete lack of empathy. He shows us what it truly takes to not just get through a crisis, but to remain untouched when the very foundations of the financial market collapse around you. If you want to dive deeper into how much money the traders made in that fire sale and what it really cost, then you should watch this video.